All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen from Bucharest, Romania. We are up and running with our last and best 32 players of the Predator Bucharest Open 2022. Kicking off this morning's proceedings with a tasty little encounter. Race to 11 between Shane van Boening and David Alcaide. So alternate break. Racking the 9 on the spot. And we've got the players hooked up with a heart rate meter. How you like that? So you have a bit of a true inside view of what's happening inside these players as far as heart rate is concerned. And it might show nerves. It might show calmness. Shane drifting the cue ball behind the 6, but didn't really succeed there. So a bit of a safety encounter to open up proceedings here. Both these players have played quite a few matches to get to this stage. We started out with 256 of incredible playing field. And all of your favorite players, or all of the well-known favorite players, are still in it to win it. So what's David going to do here? Could theoretically cut the 1 onto the 3 ball, but that needs a very specific hitting point. I think he's got a full ball hit. Could maybe bank the 1. Oh, he's got the kick only. I don't think he's able to hit the 1 ball full ball and leave the cue ball where the 1 ball is, let's say. So, yeah, glad you're all joining us on this Facebook live stream, and we are, or I am, pretty excited about these next few rounds that we'll be able to show you, in which we will afterwards crown the new champion of the Bucharest Open. On the right side of your screen, you can see previous winners. Niels Feyen in 2016-17. Wojtek Szewczak, the current world 10-ball champion, still in the mix here. He won it in 2018. Fedor Gorst, he won it in 2019. He's not playing here for purely political reasons. And we have the pleasure of having Shane van Boening in the house. You may have seen him in quite a few matches on this feature table. We also have both of the Ko brothers, Ko Pin Yi and Ko Ping Chung, playing on the outside arena tables, and we hope to feature them in some rounds fairly soon. So 5 rounds today. That was a pretty good shot. Nice. That's a good hit. So Shane is going to jump it, I think, not even thinking about kicking this. So really interesting to see the players' heart rates. It's been kind of shown that most often the players seeded may very well have the highest heart rate. All right, here we go. I would imagine that Shane is going to attempt to bank this ball. He's not going to cut it in, because banking it might afford some safety results. But I think he made it and got the safety as well. So I guess he was definitely banking it, but not banking it to make it. I think he was expecting almost, if he hit that 1 ball, if you jump it like that, and hit it somewhat on the right side, more often than not you wouldn't make it, and you would get the safety. And now he hit it so well that he actually made it. So needs a particular amount of right spin here. Ooh, just cut that 2 ball. Okay, so an open look at this 2 ball for David, but no direct pocket and no bank either, because of that orange 5 being in the way. So this game's battle is all about the 2 ball. Just get yourself a shot on the 2 ball, a potable shot, and your favorite to win this rack. Cue ball behind the red 3. What do you reckon? That is a pretty locked up safety. Now, how would you go about hitting this? I think we're going to see the Z shot, made famous by the GOAT Efren Reyes. But he might go over 3 rails even, hitting the top short rail as well. Might make it off the 6. Oh, what a hit. I mean, I'm tapping my chair here in the commentary booth. That was good. David laughing how nonchalantly Shane kind of went for that shot and just casually hit it like it was nothing. But, I mean, that's kind of one for the highlight reel, although he left it in front of the pocket, so we're probably not going to end up featuring that one. But that was good. Okay, so David, victor of our first safety exchange. So I think he can hold his cue ball by rolling it in. Wants to shoot the orange 5 in the right side pocket, while David attempts to keep his cue ball on the string. Yeah, needs a certain angle on this 5 ball because that 8 ball is in the way. Normally he would keep a little bit of a... He would stay to the right side of that 5 ball to shoot it into the right side pocket so that he could stun his cue ball up table, but that 8 ball's in the way, so it needs... Okay. That made him opt for a total different route. Now I think he's got the angle to follow through, because screwing it back is not going to give him much. I think he's got a tiny angle to follow it through. That would be increased by the force of it. Oh, he's going to screw it back, aiming low. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. El Matador. Okay, can still see the 6 ball, so... But playing safe off of this is not easy, because what does he want to do? Bang the 6 straight into the top short rail and back down, but that would, unless he hits it very precise and at very precise speed, he might leave it on this short rail near us, somewhere near the first diamond that you can see to the right of David's hand. But I mean, that's a very small area to send that 6 ball to. Cutting it is no use. You could bank or hit the 6 ball about a quarter ball on the right side, keep the cue ball on the top rail, the far top rail, and send the 6, bang the 6 towards the 8 somewhat. I think. So a bit of unwanted trouble for David. And self-inflicted, might I add. So after playing a few good shots to win that safety exchange, now kind of some self-inflicted troubles during his 6 ball run out. Alright, didn't like any of those options. Wants to hit the south side of this green ball. Wow. Shane kind of putting his cue away. I mean, David hit that 6 ball so, I mean, confident, and the speed he hit it at was like, you know, either I'm going to make it or I'm going to... Well, he could have left it safe. Of course, there were quite a few ways by hitting that side of the 6 he eventually hit, in which he could have got away with it, but he hit it as good as he possibly could. Right, so David about to take first blood. I'm joined by Martin. I'm not sure if he's currently joining us in the booth. I think he may have some other fish to fry currently.
Hey guys, what's up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream again. I'll be back in the booth later. I'm gonna do some interviews.
Oh, nice.
Enjoy this match. Really good match. So, the first round.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Who are you looking to interview? I guess all the players are
Not
the hottest place on earth right now, where the most skilled players have gathered and are currently colliding in the final 32 stage single elimination of the Bucharest Open, sponsored by Predator at the IDM Pool Club in Bucharest, Romania. I'll tell you some of the other matches currently going on, and I'm hoping to keep you up to date with some live scores. You can find the previous matches at a website with the title of 9ball.ro. That is the number 9ball.ro. And there you'll be able to find all the pool action that has happened over the last few days to get us to this stage. It was a double elimination 256 field, and it's been whittled down to just these 32 players. So 5 rounds, while David is pushing out to leave a thin left side of the 1 ball. Shane doesn't even feel like getting up. Dismissive kind of hand towards David. So, yeah, not easy, because of course if he cuts it and brings his cue ball, he's going to try to bank the 1 up and leave the cue ball there. That's quite interesting, I think. Yeah, it was never easy to get away with. So he has left Shane this shot on the 1 ball. But will he be able to avoid hitting the green 6? Okay, so on this final day, we're already up to over 400 viewers. We welcome you all. And I'd like to ask you where you're watching this from. A, from what part of the world? Where are you at? And B, what's your situation? Are you at work? Should you actually be working? And can you not get any work done because of this 9-ball pool action with potentially your favorite player ever, Shane Van Boening? Where's David Alcaide, your favorite player? Yeah, so where are you watching from? We would love to know. Let us know any of your comments. Let us know any of your questions, well, pool related anyway, that you may have. And I'll try to get to any of those questions. But of course, my main objective is to narrate you through this beautiful first game we're watching between Shane Van Boening and David Alcaide. So Shane wasn't at first able to avoid hitting that green 6, but now has made a good shot on the 2. So could draw his cue ball into the 6. It's quite unclear what's going to happen then, though. All right, didn't hit. I think he just wanted to clip that 6 ball. Now he's going to cut the 4 on the right. Would love his cue ball to roll behind the orange 5 as well, but that was a big ask. So what are David's options? So quite a few safeties I've been fortunate enough to be faced with, because then that kind of makes me think along a little bit more rather than full open runouts. So David could potentially bank the one straight into the top rail and back down here and try to get cover behind the 9, because he won't be able to hold his cue ball behind the green 6. He could hit the 4 ball, a half ball on the right side and send the 4 ball to the left long rail behind the green 6 potentially. I mean, that's going to be kind of like a soft snooker, because of course Shane would be able to hit that one. That's maybe easiest to achieve. Ooh, and that might be, or is, a nice little roll for David. But Shane can make this 4 by jumping it, of course, and hitting it directly on the contact point. But should he hit it fuller on, and almost anywhere he hits the brown 7 on the right side, it would also send the 4 into the corner. So big targets here. Let's see how he does. Hello. Beautiful. Okay, so cue ball back to the center of the table, or a little bit further to the left of that. Might stun it into the second rail. Yeah. Okay, so just to inform you, in the last 32 stage, our race lengths have increased to become a race to 11. Which I think is only fair if you've battled your way through a field of 256 players, that you get, you know, the longer the races get, the more the players like it, unless it becomes a race to 120.
He is playing the young Norwegian player Emil André Gangflot.
Mark Bijsterbos, dangerous Dutch player, is playing French Alex Montpellier. Sanjim Pelevanovic, the European 10-ball champion and young hotshot, is playing Mario He, the quite silent assassin, I would call him. Always swiftly cutting his way through the field.
Here we go.
Then the next match we have Dennis Grabe playing Dimitris Lukatos. Besides this beautiful match, we have Dimitri Chung playing Ralph Swiss player Michael Naoki Oi is playing Michael Schneider.
2 rounds before
qualifying for the last 32. We have the comeback of Nikolaos Economopoulos playing Christos Papageorgios. So seemingly an all-Greek affair there, although some of these players can also be from Bulgaria. Anyway, while Shane is running out, let me quickly go through the other matches. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz is playing Thorsten Homan, so a lot of quality on that table. Viktor Selinski is playing Swiss Filipino Ronald Regli. And then we have Wojtek Szewczak, the world 10-ball champion, playing the always dangerous Petri Makonnen. And we also have Spanish player Jose Alberto Delgado is playing the Brit Chris Alexander. And then we have Oliver Zolnocki playing Pius Labutis. And we also have in your final last 32 match Alec Pachelj against Iosan Dorin. So looking forward to seeing who's going to battle their way into our Sweet 16 field, which we'll be featuring soon after we finish this match, of course. So 5 rounds. 5 rounds of races to 11. Although a final might even be a race to 13. I'm not sure about that. So Shane handily making his way through rack number 3. And what looked to be a 2-0 deficit, he's been able to bend into a 2-1 lead, courtesy of that nice little jump shot on the 4 ball, when he actually got snookered in a fairly fortunate manner by David Alcaide. So I'm currently not on the Facebook page with the chat, so you know, the original 9-ball version. you want to give time for that pink 4 in this case to be able to be dropping down into the corner pocket. So there it got kissed away, but it kissed in the ball that was racked below it, the brown 7. Made the 1 ball as well, which happens often. Even easier actually than if you rack the original 1 ball on the spot. So the 1 ball has a more direct route into the side pocket. But that then puts you in a little bit of a pickle because the 2 ball is racked wild below the rack, lowest ball of the rack. And that, of course, you never know where that's going to end up. In this case, it ended up fantastically positioned for David to get himself started and back into a run-out mood. So I would like to be straight in on this 4 ball to the left side pocket, so screw back. Left himself a little bit too much angle the wrong way. So could leave his cue ball where the 4 ball is now, and then make the 5, of course, in the top left corner. Stun his cue ball furthest to the right on the top rail, and come out 2-3 rails for the 6 bottom right. Could also roll the cue ball forward somewhat to leave himself a little bit bigger angle. No, he's opted for the stun shot. So tip position here would be about, if you look at the cue ball as a clock, tip position would be about 4 o'clock. Or almost 3 o'clock actually, because 4 o'clock you might stun it into the top right corner pocket. So 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock tip position, so right spin, stun, and hit it exactly so. Might end up a bit straight on the 6. Of course, straight in, nice for the ball you're currently shooting, but it makes your cue ball only maneuverable straight forward or straight back, or somewhere thereabouts. So these players, and the way to play pool snooker in general, usually you would like to keep a workable angle of, let's say, 20 to 40 degrees angle pots, so that the pot is still very doable, but that your cue ball is also maneuverable to either left, right, which makes it maneuverable up and down the table, which is often what you have to do in these rotation games. So David, with a 5 o'clock tip position, gonna drift his cue ball back to the south side of the table to level things up here. So our heart rate monitors at times, because they're working off a Bluetooth signal, can sometimes not be working. So we've had a few issues with these. So it's not like these players are currently flatlining. All right, David takes game number 4. All right, so Shane breaking from a different side, and David's breaking. Shane trying to make the black 8 in the bottom right corner. Would love to not make the 1 ball, because that might drift towards where his cue ball is now. Nope, made both those balls, so kind of reliant on wherever that 2 ball is going to end up. I think he might be able to see it, you know? All right, was able to see it. So wants to leave his cue ball where he was pointing, in that funnel between the orange 5 and the brown 7. Shane keeping his cue ball nicely in line for a break and run out. Never giving David the opportunity to come to the table. That's how you, of course, would often or always like to do it. So Shane always breaking the uneven games, or the odd games as you would call it, meaning he won the lag. So should we ever get to a 10-all final rack decider, then Shane will be the one breaking, courtesy of the opening lag that he won. So could prove quite important. Alright, so good break by David, not making the one ball, and that dressed up not so nicely in this instance. But on average, not making the one ball and still making another ball, hopefully the corner ball, would give you more chance of a shot on the lowest ball. Of course, because let's say if he would have made the one ball, the two ball goes wild around the table. In this case, he would have been double snookered on that blue two. Anyway, not of concern at the moment. So what would David do here? Push out's really difficult in a game of 9-ball, especially with such open racks. I mean, if you could, with the push out, since you're giving the opponent the option, have to give the opponent the option to take wherever you roll it out to. If you can try to create a cluster, then you would prolong the game to not rely on you having to get the better of this one ball safety situation currently displayed. So I think David, well, he's left a potential pot. But not really a way for Shane to elevate and draw his cue ball to bring his cue ball back to the south side of the table, preferably down to this bottom rail. I think he's going to drift his cue ball straight over, kind of over the breaking line that you see there, the white line on the table, and try to leave a cut shot on the blue two. So an extreme cut required. The only good thing about this shot is, the way I always shoot these, is that you cannot overcut this two ball. So you cannot hit it so thin that you're hitting the right jaw of the corner pocket. So in that respect, you know, the brief I find is fairly simple. Hit it as thin as you can without missing the whole ball, of course. So Shane, of course, having to cut his cue ball, that will set his cue ball loose. I think he's not rolling it with any right spin, so I think he's going to be going into the 9-ball or 6-ball after this, depending how thin he hits it. Oh, hit it too thick. Might get the safety behind the 3 though. That's quite nice. Quite a good result. Left David a jump shot. And the way I can imagine things happening after David hits that blue 2, quite a few balls on the table behind which so excuse me for that in-house announcement throughout the pool hall. Don't know what they were saying there. David could get away with this jump shot if he could also make it. It's going to be hard to get position on the 3-ball, but let's see what happens. Okay, we got the heart rate monitors back as well. All right, David might bank this too. Ooh, and it dropped. Alright, after this rack I will be giving you updates on the current live scores throughout the arena. Which, if you're not watching this match live and you'll be watching it when it's posted on the Billiard Network, it's not really of your concern because you're just enjoying this matchup that we're displaying here. So David, I think, yeah, he did try to hit that bank shot, jump shot, so quite a good one really. And also quite good for him to not potentially go 2 games down in this race to 11. And just looking to tie things up. The 6 ball goes in both bottom corner pockets. So wants to draw his cue ball back about 10-20 centimeters. Could draw it back further and shoot the 6 in the left side pocket, but that's a bit more cue ball adventurous. So David Alcaide, been on the scene for decades already by now. He was, he was as much on the scene when I was still playing and came on the scene, so about 20-25 years ago, and he is only proven to got better. Proven winner, multiple winner of the World Pool Masters, Euro Tour winner, and just a dangerous player in general. Intelligent, good feel for the cue ball. Oh, thanks, Martin. I've just been given a double espresso to fire myself up even further. Did I even need that with this 9-ball action we're bringing your way? David Alcaide looking to square up this match, 3 games apiece. Okay, let me give you some updates on some other matches. Let me see if I can give you a quick view of a different table. Torsten Homan is leading Sanchez Ruiz, FSR, 3 racks to 4. But Sanchez looking to tie things up there. You imagine he would. Let me switch you to the other table, where Ko Ping Chung is trailing Ralph Suke 4 racks to 1. Hey, could we have the golden oldie Ralph Suke upsetting the odds? Okay, back to table 1. Shane has been making the pink corner ball in the right bottom pocket, but also making the 1 ball, so relying on the 2 to act nice. Didn't make the corner ball directly, didn't make the 1 ball, but the 1 ball's gonna hide behind the 2 ball. Oh no. Alright, so yeah, it's a really specific skill, this cut break. To not hit it incredibly hard, because then the corner ball doesn't have enough time to drift into that corner pocket. Shane gonna push out to the bottom rail. We also don't want to hit it too soft, because we do have a 3-point rule in effect here. Okay, while David is thinking about this push out, let me tell you what the scores are. Besides those 2 matches I just mentioned, we also have Mark Bijsterbos leading Alex Montpellier 3 games to 2. Jose Alberto Delgado is trailing Chris Alexander 3 racks to 2. Sanjim Pilovanovic is leading Mario He 6 games to 0. Viktor Selinski, well, he's only in the lead by 8 racks to 1. I mean, when did they start? Alright, Naoki Oi tied at 4 against Michael Schneider. Oliver Zolnocki playing Piers Labutis, and Oliver is leading 4 racks to 1. Wojtek Shevchek is even at 3-all against Petri Makonen. Dennis Grab is trailing Dimitris Lukatos 5 games to 2. Alek Pechelsk is 2-all with Ian Dorin. Dmitry Jungo is leading Michael Oleg 4 racks to 2. Imran Majid is leading Alex Kazakis 3 racks to 1. Ko Ping is leading Emil Gangflot 3 games to 2. And Nick Economopoulos is leading 4-1 against Papa Giorgio. So there we go. Back to the feature table here at the IDM Pool Club. So David can hit this 1 ball. That would bring his cue ball. He could avoid hitting the orange 5, and that would get him a snooker behind. Yeah, that would bring him where his hand is now. Of course, doesn't want the one ball to also drift down table. So touchy shot here. Hit it as soft as you can. Okay, never mind. Good shot. Gave himself the bigger option. Was able to hit the cue ball harder, but I think he may have left a window of opportunity for Shane van Boening. Not sure though. Hard to see. We only have the this camera angle, and then we have the side view. Does that tell us any more? Yeah, I think he can make this, you know. Let's just keep us on this view here for the time being. Overcut it. Alright, so left David a cut on the one. That would naturally bring his cue ball off of that right long rail into the blue too. So if you want to avoid that, you have to apply some spin to your cue ball, which makes the pot harder again. So what do you do? What do you do? So never even went for the pot. Did proceed to play good safety though. Most likely Shane's going to come off 2 rails to hit this one ball. And again, quite a few balls there to make himself get away with it. Ooh, made it inside and got position. How nice is that? Now the only thing to note, and which Shane is just checking, does that orange 5 pass the green 6? I mean, does the side view give us more of an insight into that? Hard to say. I think it may not. So Shane needs a bit of a backspin quality on his cue ball to avoid running into the 3. So we'll see how Shane goes about the 5-ball conundrum. Just checking that again. He may have, about half a pocket or so at most. The 5-ball does go into the bottom right, of course. Then he would need to bring his cue ball back to where he put his chalk. Okay, so he does think he has a pocket. Okay, so Shane running out on his way to taking a 4-3 lead over El Matador David Alcaide. Race to 11 to get into the Sweet 16 players of the Predator Bucharest Open 2022. Notable that both players are breaking next opposite sides. Of course, with this template rack, it should all be racked perfectly. Make it an even ball game at 4 racks both each. Both players a chance to do exactly the same. Will Shane, but in a mirror version, take our David first consistently now not making the one ball that tracks. Who knows? 2-3 rails. The top left of the table. The tables. Well, that's not really interesting. Reliable 5-4 Sanchez Ruiz over Homan. Now, how to get
Koping
position on
Chung
the
taking
blue
one
two.
rack back against Ralph
If you're
Suke.
cue
So
ball,
all to play
that's
for,
why
and
a little
shrug of
2,
the head.
3.
4-game lead. Hardly,
Of course, the
always
2 ball goes
proves
to top right
decisive.
corner pocket.
Even in an
angle he
ultimate
has
break
on the
format.
1 ball won't be able to hold his cue ball.
These balls are round and
So
stuff
might
can happen. Or
Either
stuff
have
will
to
happen
apply right
that
spin
you
to
just
roll into the
cannot
red 3.
legislate for.
Okay, so a bit dangerous, of course. Could roll into the blue 2. Could roll into the pink 4. Yeah, decided my first sketched option and performed that very nicely. So now all of a sudden, he's free, up and running. So we're currently up to 685 viewers. And we're also joined by a lot of Taiwanese and Chinese people, of course, looking to be seeing and looking to support the Ko brothers, if not any of the other players we're currently featuring. So David Alcaide neatly running through this rack, trying to keep himself problem-free. If you like what you're currently looking at, which, in my opinion, you know, how could you not? 2 of the world's best 9-ball players squaring off in a race to 11. Very nice. If you like what you're seeing, we'd appreciate it if you would spend about a second and a half pressing the like button. You could also press the love button. You could also give us a hug right there. And you could share this stream to tell your friends what you're currently watching, and we're trying to widen the appeal of pool in the world so that more people can enjoy this stream and how things are unfolding here in Bucharest, Romania. Yes, Louisa, thanks for your comments. She's saying, or he's saying, I think she, Koping Yi and Yuki Oi are favorites at holding the cup, but what an outstanding show today will be, indeed. And we're already enjoying the first little morning breakfast show here in Romania, where we are currently at 10 minutes to 11. That means it's 10 minutes to 10 in Central Europe. If you're watching in the UK, well, then you would know it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and 5 hours earlier to New York. So very late morning in New York, and we have a 4-all ball game here. Of course, if you're watching this match at a later date, all of this time zones explanation doesn't really matter one bit to you, and you have just come to this link on YouTube to watch Van Boening square off against David Alcaide, and a lot to learn here for players of all kinds of levels, whether you're a professional, a semi-professional, a high intermediate or beginning player. So much to learn from these players, the way they set up, the way they stroke the ball, the way they play position, the way they pot the ball, their demeanor at the table, the rhythm of play, while we're looking to see Shane break off in game number 9, looking to get back to leading ways. Alright, it's going to end up snookered, triple snookered behind the 8, 2 and 3 ball. Yeah, so Shane not really comfortable with the cut break yet. It's something that he doesn't play many tournaments where the 9 ball is racked on the spot and you have to cut the break for average success. He's more of a full-on 9-ball and 10-ball breaker. So it hasn't yet got the feel of it today. Well, I appreciate it, Yi Yen. Yes, I really want to put one of the Ko brothers on this table. Because I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play under the ever-increasing pressure. That would then be at least the last 16 or quarterfinals onwards. So we're hoping to bring you them, and we're hoping for you to keep joining us. Do tell your friends about, because this is the one spot in the world where the best players in the world are currently congregated and crossing queues to decide who will be today's best 9-ball player, and with that take the Predator Bucharest Open title 2022. David not liking his position that he was offered by Shane and promptly handing it back. Now Shane could make this 1-ball, but that would highly likely leave him snookered on the blue 2 behind the 3, so could cut the 1-ball on the left, bring the cue ball back down to where it is now, or behind the 6-9. Yeah, back to where he started from. Pretty good hit if he doesn't scratch. Okay, left it in the jaws of the pocket. Pretty good. All right, Robert, don't break the place. I'm joined by Robert Braga, the brains behind this situation here in Bucharest, Romania, and instigator of this amazing tournament we've been able to come play and for you to currently be watching from all over the world. We're hoping to feature the Ko brothers at some point. Yeah. Okay, so David trying to snooker Shane. Didn't get there though. So now what would you do if you were Shane? Not an easy safety at all. I mean, yes, theoretically he could carry the 1-ball into the 9. I mean, he could still try and do that and try to send the 1-ball back up table. Cue ball could end up behind the 8, behind the 3. Yeah, it's definitely an option, which of course gives you possibility to win this whole rack and possibly get safe. Otherwise, it's not easy to, let's say, bank the 1-ball towards, let's say, just narrowly missing the green 6 and then back up table, because then it would roll towards the black 8. That doesn't really have a lot of good future, I think. So yeah, the current live scores you can find on 9ball.ro if you want to follow what the Ko brothers are currently, what situation they're facing. Alright, Shane missed the 9-ball carom and didn't get the 1-ball back up table, so left David an opportunity to first get position on the blue 2, which is far from easy. But once he does that, the rack is open. Only the 8 blocks the natural, or the 8 is blocked to its natural pocket by the 9-ball. So let's see what we're going to do here. Over 700 viewers, and we are glad you're joining us today from anywhere in the world. Let us know your current situation, where you're watching from, and what are you not doing that you're supposed to be doing and that you're actually watching the pool with us. We're glad you joined us. We'd love for you to show your appreciation by pressing the like, love, and hug button. You could also press the share button, which could potentially widen the appeal of pool to a wider audience across the world, which is what we would all like. Have pool more on TV while David is trying to navigate himself through this rack and is doing so quite swiftly, but now needs to work on the 8-ball conundrum. So I would imagine he either needs like a 20-degree angle, so cue ball center of the table, that would keep his cue ball maneuverable towards the 8. Yeah. So could naturally make it roll back down to, let's say, where the balls are racked, right there. That would work. Hey Gary from Sweden, good morning indeed, 10 a.m. where you are. You are hearing the silky commentary voice of Rico Diks. I'm a former pro pool player, born in Holland, part of the original Dutch pool team featuring Alex Lely, Niels Fein, and Nick Vandenberg. I'm currently residing in London. So Kopinyi leading 7-3, Ping Chung leveled things up with Ralph Souquet 4-all. So interesting places to watch there. We'll try to switch towards some of those matches. Watching from Taiwan, well, a warm welcome. It's a lot later in the day where you are, so better watching from there than watching from America, because then you are in the middle of the night. Oh, David left the 9-ball hanging. Yeah. I mean, he should have never been in a situation where he had to play that 8-9 combination. So, David had a chance to take a 5-4 lead, and then be breaking
beautiful place
himself.
to be here, and come and visit sometime.
Was a chance to break Shane's serve, let's say.
So, the venue, Brett,
is Alex,
one of the most beautiful pool halls you'll find in
David
Europe.
Breaking very successfully.
It is a
Made
multiple
2 balls
on the break
activity venue.
It's a pool hall with 40 Brunswick Gold crowns. We have a bowling alley as well, indeed.
And we even have an arena with table tennis tables. We have a beautiful restaurant, an outside terrace. I can tell you, it's currently 3 balls away from taking a 5-4 lead over Ralph Souquet. So David in prime position here on the 2-ball.
Yeah, 4 a.m. in Philadelphia. Nice to see live pool.
Well, we're very glad you're joining us. Man, at this hour of your night. Welcome from Bucharest, Romania.
We appreciate your appreciation, for my commentary, but mostly, of course, for the 9-ball action we're bringing you.
We're all fans of this game, and we all love to see the best players square off. So, I can tell you that Kopinyi has just sunk the 9-ball to take a 5-4 lead over Ralph Souquet after trailing 4 racks to 1. We will be switching to that table and to the Francisco Ruiz match versus Homan in between games here, while these two chaps here on the feature center court arena table are racking the balls. So David 3 balls away from squaring things up once more. So no player being able to A, run out consistently, B, break consistently. Both players with a mistake here and there. So we're playing a race to 11 after we've played races to 9 throughout this tournament. A nice length of a match, I believe. Race to 11, alternate break, 9-ball. These players have deserved it. They've played... Ooh, careful, David. All right. So, David will be taking not a 5-4 lead, but we'll square things up at 5-all. So if he could just sink this ball, then I can bring you the Koping Chung break against Ralph Suke. All right, 5-all we have it. Oh, that's not the table I wanted to show you. Koping Chung leading Ralph Suke and breaking. Trying to make the black 8. Made that one and the 1 ball, but will he get a shot on the blue too? No, he won't. He may have. Well, he's on his knees looking if he has. Right, so we're switching back to the center court arena table because Koping Chung doesn't quite know if this ball goes yet. So Shane breaking in game number 11. Looking to take that lead once more. Boom. Made the corner ball, didn't make the 1, but that hit the point of the jaw. And I can tell you it's an illegal break. And why is it an illegal break? Because we're having the 3-point rule in effect. 3 points, and points can be collected for every ball made is a point, and every ball that passes the break line where you're breaking from. Now he made 1, but only 1 other ball passed the breaking line, so that gives him 2 points, and that means it's an illegal break, means his inning is over, and David comes to the table. Should David not like this situation, he can still give it back to Shane. That would still enable Shane to make a push out if he wishes to. David can also still push out, of course. So it's the 3-point rules in effect to stop players from soft breaking the balls and trying to softly make the corner balls and trying to keep position on the 1 ball too easily. Hence the 3-point rule. Sometimes it's a bit of a strange thing. All right, we have a diehard fan of Robert Braga and Bogdan here. Thanks you so much for your great effort. Well, that's a nice thing to say, all the way from Asia. We appreciate your comments. Let us know where you're watching from and what your situation is. Are you horizontal in bed? Are you in the office and should you actually be doing different things? Are you taking your wife out on a date and you're saying you have this important phone call to make and you're actually watching the pool? Yeah, you're welcome. We love to report on the Taiwanese players because we're so happy to have both the Ko brothers featured in Bucharest, Romania. It's a first here in Europe to have these 2 talented brothers playing in the tournament. So Ko Pin Yi is leading 7-5. Thank you, Yi Yen Wang, for the update on the live scores in the chat. So David with a chance to take the game that Shane broke in. And that could prove important, especially in the midpoint of the match. Could take a 6-5 lead here. Almost should take a 6-5 lead. And then is breaking with an opportunity to potentially take a 2-game lead. Don't drop that 3 ball. All right, that's good enough. And we have somebody watching from Sweden in the bed. Well, you're very welcome. We are glad you're watching it with us. Don't we love a bit of rotation 9-ball action? Of course, if you're watching this match at a later date, all of this is of no concern to you and you are just watching this beautiful matchup between Van Boening and Alcaide. So cue ball back to the center of the table for David. That will do the trick. Again, wants to bring his cue ball back to Sanjin Pilavanovic, leading 7-1 over Mario He. And then we have Viktor Zelinsky beat Ronald Regli 11-7. What a quick game that was. Naoki Oi tied at 7 with Michael Schneider. Oliver Tsolnocki 6-4 ahead of Pius Labutis. What else do we have? Wojtek Shevchek trails Petri Makonnen 7 racks to 5. FSR against Homan, of course, 6-all as you've seen. Dennis Graber trailing Dimitris Lukatos 5 games to 8. We have Alex Patelch is leading 5-4 against Ian Dorin. Dmitry Jungo beat Michael Oleg 11 games to 2. Alex Kazak is trailing 3-6 against Imran Majid. Kopin Yi is leading Emil Andre Gangflot 7 racks to 5. And then we have Nick Ikonomopoulos is currently winning 9 racks to 4 against Papa Georgios. So here we go. Those scores you can find on 9ball.ro. If you then go to the matches section, you will see all the completed matches and the current last 32 matches. So, David on his way to winning his break, having a break and run. Well, a bit of a distraction there for David. Don't know what that was about. Okay, a bit straight on this 6 ball, but should be able to stun it over to the right side of the table for a straight or straightish position on the 7 ball, which would lead him to the 9 ball, of course. So David for this straight in 9, slightly bridging over the side pocket, not always the easiest. Trying to take a 8 games to 6 lead. Boom, there we go. All right, so you back to the South Dakota kid, Shane Van Boening. 8-6 he's currently down. Let me see if I can update that for you. I may not have the capability here. So we're hoping that Robert Braga will update the score. But as you can see in the top part of your screen, David leads 8 racks to 6. Okay, there we are. Okay, so Shane, well broke, currently well playing, in line to not fall 9-6 behind. But him trailing 2 racks now, should David hold all of his own breaks, then of course David would win this match, no matter what Shane does. But usually it doesn't really pan out like that, even if these players are quite adept at the cut break, and if runouts are easier to come by, let's say, than maybe with a 1 on the spot rack, triangle racks. Alright, Shane just dancing his cue ball as he does. I mean, in my view, a true heir to the Earl Strickland kind of way of playing dominant 9-ball, big strokes, able to shoot any shot on the table, some shots even that other players, would find hard to execute, definitely under severe pressure. Shane can do it all. Alrighty, Shane takes us back to 7 games to 8. As we are trying to bring you Homan trailing 7 racks to 6. He looks to be running out. Let's assume he will. Well, that's not really interesting either, so back to Homan for a quick second. Homan playing at a nice tempo, trying to bring himself to 7 games each. And in the center court arena, we're going to go back to David. Alright, so Homan looking good. Okay, back to the main event, although they're all actually main events. I mean, I wish we had a 16 table stream that we could bring you, but not this year. Okay, so David with a lucky 8-ball. Didn't make the corner ball, but as you could see, his disappointment didn't comply with the 3-point rule. So inning over, and a chance for Shane to take it back to 8 games each. Now this game, both players not able to break consistently. A mistake or somewhat of a missed opportunity here and there. Could this be a final rack decider? I mean, they seem not to be able to separate themselves from each other, so Shane a little bit straight on this 2-ball. I mean, he almost has to roll the 2-ball in and shoot the 3 in the top right corner, because I mean, why not? Because that would then automatically give you position on the pink 4. I think he should do that, although Shane would love to power his cue ball out. Has to unscrew his extension. It's just kind of getting the feel of his just a tad bit lighter cue, but I think he's looking to stroke it out 2 rails, so follow with top right spin on the cue ball. Zippity zap. Saw how that right spin took off for the second rail. Nice. Okay, so back in line. So Shane wants to leave his cue ball most likely very near the left long rail to give himself a maneuverable cue ball on the 6, and then what do you think? Is he going to play the 7 in the same pocket? Has options anyway. Yeah, just enough angle on that 7-ball. Should he choose to shoot it in the left side pocket, he could. Okay, he's rolling it in the top, bottom left corner pocket near us. Okie dokie. Shane with a half ball, 9-ball cut. These players so often shooting the 9-ball from that position. Of course, with the template racks, the 9 hardly moves these days, and we're going to be transitioning
after this game. All right, Shane ties it up at 8. Okay, we are back in the main arena. 8 games apiece. Shane coming up dry. Can you believe it? Well, I would suggest he goes back to the other side of the table to break, because that's where he was breaking from the last 2 days I've seen him play. Anyway. But yeah, Shane's still trying to come to terms and trying to get a really consistent cut break going. With this 9-ball racked on the spot, it's something completely different than the one on the spot, where you have to hit the 1 ball full in the face at high velocity. This is kind of like a medium pace, slight cut break, and a bit of spin on your cue ball as well. And not always easy. So, David with his first challenge to get position on the 2 ball. Naturally, his cue ball would drift in between the pink 4, yellow 9 ball. Well, then to come out of that is not easy. You could shoot the 1 ball in the corner, that's what he will do. And try to get his cue ball back down table here, somewhere around the racking area. Yeah, that's pretty well played. I can tell you though, these side pockets are quite small from this type of angle. All right, so David just shaking his arm loose. It's getting to that business end of the set, tied at 8 games each. Race to 11, remember, we're playing here. We've been playing races to 9, but in this single elimination stage, which we've given the players a little bit of a longer race, more time to show their quality that may prove decisive. So roll this 2 ball in. Okay. Now, here for David, you would almost say he's better off playing this cushion first off the left long rail, and that would normally automatically bring his cue ball 3 rails around back towards the green 6. Zip. There we go. Off of that 3rd rail. Nicely maneuvered. Now I would like a fairly straight in position on the orange 5, because that kind of, the 5 ball corresponds with position on the 6 and the kind of angle he requires to get back to position on the 7. So Alcaide trying to take that 1 game lead and potentially more. He was leading by 2, remember, and then Shane has just pegged him back to tie things up. So David trying to get position on the 6 ball with not too much angle, then again not hide himself behind the black 8, of course. So wants his cue ball to bounce. That's nice. Yeah, that's very well played. Of course he's bridging over the black 8, but he's got the ideal angle, so can just shoot this with a 6 o'clock tip position, let's say. Draw his cue ball back out to the center of the table. Alright, hard to reach though. And with the extension, doesn't necessarily make it easier to reach. It will give him a little more cue to grab at the back. Okay, it doesn't make that tiny bit of difference. So here we go. Nice shot by David. So that dry break by Shane proving costly. I think I heard someone say why I pronounce David instead of David. Well, because you would have to pronounce it in Spanish, I guess, since this gentleman's from Spain. And that's how it goes over there. Okay, so Alcaide taking a 9 racks to 8 lead. Okay, here we are. Game 18. Alcaide trying to make the 6 ball and leave the 1 ball for position. 1 ball hit the knuckle of the side pocket. Ooh. Well, isn't that nice? I think he's left with a pot, and the 3 ball doesn't really need much. Shane with a little bit of a disappointed facial expression. Baltimore, Maryland. Hey, James. I used to hang out in Baltimore, Maryland. Annapolis, or Crownsville, actually, to be very precise. Vienna, welcome. Good morning, Vienna. So glad you're all watching with us. And it's going to be hard to predict who wins this match, but you know. So elevated cue ball action from David. Nice. I think the pink 4 passes the brown 7 easily, so can roll this 3 ball in. Good morning from Pitești, Romania. Well, you're not too far away then. We have viewers from Germany. I mean, we have a worldwide viewing audience. Isn't that just great, isn't it? Everybody loving the 9 ball and loving these world-class pool players. A lot of Shane Van Boening fans, of course. And can we still see a Shane Van Boening fight back? Because, you know, he's odds on to go 10-8 down. Okay, David left himself a bit more angle on this 5 ball than he would have liked. At least his cue ball is natural towards the 7. Commentator, narrator for your finals day action here in Bucharest, Romania. My name is Rico Diks. I'm a former pro player, part of the original team of dangerous Dutch players alongside Alex Lely, Nick Vandenberg and Niels Feyen. Currently residing in London, England for exactly 20 years now, actually. And glad to be here in Romania and talking to you guys through this world-class 9 ball action. So David, with a little bit of quality on his cue ball required, wants to spin it to the left side pocket. And that should enable him, well, still a bit more angle than he would have liked. Okay, good shot by Alcaide. Going to take a 10-8 lead over the world 9-ball champion Shane Van Boening. And could we switch positions? Trying to make the black 8 bottom left. Done so, but the 1 ball as well. Will the 2 ball dress up? 5 ball get out of the way. There we have it. All right, so a bit of a tester for Shane. Oh, this is getting nicely exciting here. Tester for Shane. Should he make it? He should be able to leave his cue ball in between the pink 4 and yellow 9 to get a shot on the red 3. So trailing 10-8, needing to win this game to stay alive. mean, he just walking casually around like nothing ever happened. But that was close to being basically out of the tournament. Okay, so a little bit of a stun draw shot for a straight in pink 4. This is pure Shane territory here, as was that 2-ball, the way he shot it in at high speed. Okay, so Shane finally finding his break and run out groove to win his breaking game without Alcaide coming to the table. Ooh, yes, you can see the current live scores even at 9ball.ro. That is the number 9ball.ro, and you'll be able to see all the completed matches and all the matches we're currently playing. This 9-ball for Shane to take his 9th game in a race to 11. I would still need the next 2 though, and it's Alcaide to break. Could leave Shane van Boening in his chair and just take Shane's winning opportunity away from him if he were to break and run out. So Shane just did so from this position, breaking position, trying to make the brown 7 bottom left, hopefully keeping the 1-ball on the table. Ooh, 1-ball hits the knuckle, 7-ball didn't go in, no balls down. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. It's Superman Shane coming back to the table, Captain America. He didn't even take his cue, just surveying the table. Illegal break by Alcaide at that, besides not making a ball. He only had the 6-ball, I believe, passing the breaking line because of the 1-ball, which would normally pass, but that hit the knuckle of the side pocket. So, ooh, liking this. But, of course, certain balls of note are the 2-9 combination. The 2-9 is definitely not a natural combo, but Shane's looking at it if he can maybe squeeze in the 9. Then we also have the 3-4 cluster with the 3-ball not really having any pocket to go in. So Shane could opt to make this 1-ball come off the bottom rail towards the 9 and trying to hit the 9. But he would need to hit the 9-ball either on the absolute south side or on the west side, right side that is. Because if he hits it on the left, he may be stuck against the 9 and snookered on the 2. So taking considerable time over this, of course, extremely important moment. Shane didn't travel here to Romania to be losing in the last 32. He wants to win this whole tournament, but needs to win this rack first and then the next one. So first things first. You know, 1 ball at a time, as they say. So what would you do here? Yeah, because even if he breaks open the 9-ball, then the 2 doesn't necessarily, that rolls towards the 8 then and doesn't necessarily give him position. So lots to think about here, and not really I guess in this situation it's hard to really find a clear decision and say, okay, I'm going to go for this because this is going to give me the opportunity. I mean, he could also stun his cue ball into the red 3, open up that cluster, but I don't think the 2-ball goes into the left side pocket. And give you a bit of a different view. Or does the 2-ball go? Well, you can see the 2-9 combo definitely doesn't go. We'll leave you So Shane can only hit the right side of the 2. Needs a rail after hitting the 2, of course, to make it a legal shot. Well, that will do just fine. Shane puffing his cheeks because he knows he probably hasn't given away the game, which he could have. But of course we still have the 3-4 conundrum here bottom right of the table, besides the 2-6 situation that David is currently facing. So nice, close, exciting, world-class 9-ball action coming your way here from Bucharest, Romania at the Predator Bucharest Open 2022. These two players have been going at it for the last hour and a half or so. And this is only to get into the last 16. So we're up to 1,200 viewers. Hey, don't you want more people to be watching this potential final rack decider and even this exciting rack that we're currently witnessing? Why don't you just press the share button? Just spend a second and a half pressing that share button, press the like button. It would help us. We would appreciate it, as we are loving bringing you this live stream today. And this is only match 1 of a 5-round completion of this 256 player tournament. So David did pretty well there. Don't know if he got the full ball snooker. What do you think? Either way, even if Shane is able to hit the right side of this 2, you know, unless he hits the right side of the 2 and threads his cue ball in between the 8 and the rail and then back down to where it is now, the cue ball at least, I don't see much good future if Shane is to hit this 2 ball directly. So interesting to note also the heart rates, they don't seem to be going through the roof. Oh, double kiss for Shane. Definitely not what he was attempting in this situation, but left David a straight in shot. Nice for the 2 ball, but how do you get your cue ball? I guess ideally, does that 3 ball go bottom left? Let me just switch sides here and give you a bit of an idea of what David is currently looking at. I don't think that 3 ball goes, you know. Huh. What to do, what to do. If you could think along with us from your current situation, wherever you're watching it in the world, welcome to you. We're glad you're joining us. And we're proud to bring you this 9-ball match between these 2 pool gladiators, you may call them. So let's get back to the main camera view. I think theoretically, I mean, just to note, the 3 ball does now go into the top right corner pocket past the 8. But I mean, how do you get your cue ball down to this bottom rail? So a lot of action needed for David. This could be the shot that wins him the match. That's gonna drift. And that's going to drift too far. Wow. Let me just show you this side. So can hit the 3. But that doesn't really... Yeah, I guess snooker him behind the 9. Maybe hit the 3 ball further up table, snooker him behind the 9-5. That's what he's going for, I think. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna see El Jumpy. But this 5 ball is far away, you know, and you have to give your cue ball a lot of velocity to clear the 5 ball. And then, of course, you don't want any balls jumping off the table, cue ball or 3 ball. So, I'm loving this tactical battle here between these two players. Here we go. Can Shane jump this in? No, he can't. Can he get away with it? No, he can't. All right. So David at the table, well, with a far from totally open rack. I mean, it's open, but needs a bit of quality on his positional play. Can he roll this 3 ball in and leave his cue ball in between the 5-9 window to shoot the 4? We'll probably stun his cue ball straight down towards us and then either turn right or let it come straight up towards the 9. That's what he'll do, I think. Oh, that's too far. See, that's a bit in between. Because now, in making this 4 ball, this cue ball, you know, to make the 4 ball reach the pocket, you're going to have to hit the cue ball at a certain speed, which is then, it's going to be hard to hold the cue ball this south side of the table for position on the 5. Yeah, he could do that. So, roll spin his cue ball with right spin, cut the 4 ball in, and his cue ball will then drift 2 rails to where he was pointing just now. Yeah, and this gives him a nice angle to get to the 6 as well. Now, normally he would need that kind of angle on the 6 ball to stun it back out for the brown 7, but of course the black ball is severely in the way for that. So probably would like a little bit less angle than that and leave himself a longer 7 ball. This is not over yet, people. All right. Ooh, that's very straight, David. Not really satisfied with that positional play. Can theoretically hit this cue ball with top left spin and spin it out 2 rails. I mean, but then there's also a chance if you make the 6 in the right side of the corner pocket, you're hitting your 6 ball so straight that your cue ball might even follow in the top right corner pocket. Of course, any kind of draw quality on your cue ball will leave too much angle on your 7 ball. What do you think? I mean, he might just draw it back just south of the 8 ball and leave himself that cut shot on the 7 ball to zigzag it, or draw it all the way back 3 rails. What do you reckon? Oh, missed it! Ladies and gentlemen, more to play for. Loving this 9 ball action here. Can Shane take a timeout, he's asking. I don't know. Don't know what happened. If he's allowed or not allowed. Hello. Give you a bit of a better view of what angle he's got, what he can do. I mean, he probably should leave his cue ball around about where it is now to shoot the 7 top left. I mean, why would you give up a position you kind of getting for free? But he's going to draw it to shoot the 7 in the same pocket. Nice. I mean, that's the Shane stroke for you, of course. And he's got a little bit more angle than he would have liked, I guess. Can leave his cue ball. Yeah. He's looking at zigzagging, drawing it back past the right side pocket and back out. I think that's what he will do. That's not really hard enough, but will leave himself an in-betweener. And the thing is, with this kind of cue ball position, while you're aiming at that 8 ball, you don't have the pocket in your line of sight. So the way you're shooting this is kind of on memory. Like, okay, well, the corner pocket I remember being somewhere over there. So pressure here. This shot to potentially give us a final rack decider. I mean, was I ever worried? Did I ever doubt Shane? Here we go. This 9-ball to bring us to a hill game. Stick with us. Okay, Shane just asking if he can. We're back with a hill game. Shane Van Boening, David Alcaide. Shane made a ball. Did he? He did. Ooh, he's got a shot at the 1. Wants to remove that template rack there, I believe. But he's bridging over the 6. If he makes it, his cue ball will come 2 rails out of that bottom right corner to the center of the table, which is nice. So, just the pot, bridging over the 6 with a tip of left required, and he would be in line for a break and run in the final game. The key shot of this rack already. Long bridge hand, slight elevation, always more difficult to see the potting angle then. Oh, but will he clear the 8-ball to get a shot on the 2? I don't think so, you know. I mean, he didn't give his cue ball that left spin it required, I guess, to make that 1 ball a little bit easier to shoot. So we'll stay at this view of the table to see what Shane comes up with. Could bank the 1 ball or the 2 ball up table, cue ball behind the 3-9. Hold up 3 ball, don't dress up to the side. Oh no. I mean, you know, can't really blame the 2 ball for staying there, because that's kind of where he sent it himself. Of course, playing that shot a few more times, it will either stop before the side or roll just past the side pocket. So David with a jump shot, which of course he's favorite to make, but then can only kind of be on the right side of the table for a shot on the 3. And that's not easy to do. You know, first sending the cue ball into the sky, landing it, hitting that 2 at a certain angle, controlling the speed. I mean, it could all easily take place, but it could also go very wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Jump shot by Alcaide on the 2 ball to get a potential position on the 3, which could prove decisive. Here we go. Ooh, nice little action on his cue ball. Ooh. I mean, he will have to be very happy with that shot, really. Of course, more angle on the 3 ball than he would have liked. But now he can pot it in the bottom left corner pocket. And that should bring his cue ball, well, kind of off the bottom rail, off the right side rail towards the black 8. So then, of course, doesn't want to snooker himself behind the 8. But anything else will give him a nice shot on the pink 4. So now this 3 ball decisive. Here we go. Overcut it, severely overcut it. Never even threatened. Or was he playing safe? Maybe he was playing safe all the way. I'm not sure. But, I mean, if the safety was played and it was very well executed, I think he actually left a tiny bit of a 3 ball view for Shane. But I mean, how do you cut this so thin to leave the 3 somewhere near that bottom rail? Of course, cue ball, if you hit it that thin, would travel back to roundabout where it is now. But it's so easy to hit this 3 a little bit too thick and expose it to the right bottom corner pocket. Could also miss the ball completely, which I've done a few times, I remember. Here we go. Shane with the resafe. Oh, what a hit. Oh, well, did expose the cue ball or 3 ball ever so slightly. Oh, he made the 6. He's made the 6. Whoa. I mean, it's all kicking off here. Are you liking this 9 ball action as much as I am? I believe you are. I mean, of course, I'm here live in the pool hall itself, but wow, what a final rack decider. So now this 3 ball and a 3 rail position for Shane. Not easy. Here we go. World 9 ball champion in the heat of the moment. Show yourself again. Oh, hit that way too thick. And it's not going to get... Ooh. Oh, he left the 3, but I don't think he left the potting angle. Hello. Or did he leave? Did he leave enough of the 3 to be able to make it? I think he did. No, maybe he didn't. Maybe he did. No, I don't know. We'll find out. Yes, he did. Okay, don't hide yourself behind the 8. That could still happen, you know. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is what can happen on a 4.5 by 9 table. I mean, that was exactly the direction. Shane's laughing from his chair. And some guy, I think, was clapping as well, which Shane cannot believe. I mean, you know, Shane may be laughing now, but David, a very good kicker of the ball. So always brings quality when he hits cushion first into a ball. Vamos, Oscar says, yeah, viewership, live viewership of this match increasing by the shot. Wow, what a final rack decider we have for you. This, of course, will be posted on the Billiard Network in due course, or you may be watching it after this all happened on the Billiard Network right now. All right. So, I mean, we'll probably hit this full ball, but it's going to be hard to get away with it. Hard to separate the 2 balls, you know, to either north, south side of the table. Could make it. Could bank make it. That is unbelievable. Missed the whole kick shot. Shane out of his chair. And you could say that David Alcaide has missed 2 opportunities to win this match. So probably a bit of nerves getting the better of him, because missing that kick shot he just did, I mean, it couldn't have been a direction. He must have just added a little bit of unwanted spin to his cue ball in that, you know, having a bit of more tension in your arm. So Shane with these 3 balls to take himself into the last 16, and you could call it a great escape. Okay, perfect position. Wants to get his cue ball back to where it is now for a final 9 ball to win this game in a final rack decider and take himself into the final 16. And we will say goodbye to David Alcaide. Shane Van Boening takes this in a final rack decider. What a match. What a match, what a match. Okay, we're going to try to switch to a different table